This is Rob Howden, the voice of the Mazda Road to Indy, and you're listening to the Indy Sports Car Podcast.
Welcome, ICP fans, to a special starting off edition with good friend, longtime friend, and longtime show friend Oliver Askew. Ollie, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you? Good to be here.
I just want to say that Ollie is now in the Indy Lights series. He's driving for the Index Invest number 28 Andretti Autosport entry in the Indy Lights series. Competing in the Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tire competition or championship. Almost got it right there. I think I almost nailed it 100%. I think give myself like a 90%. You think?
Yeah. I'll give you a good rating on that.
Oh, thanks, buddy. All right, great. Hey, everybody knows Missy normally does the intro, so I think that's pretty good considering.
Yeah.
So hey, man. I mean. First off, just want to say, man, not only congratulations for being where you should be, which is Indy Lights, because, I mean, you've gone USF to Pro Mazda to Indy Lights, bang, 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 and you totally deserve it. And, your talent level dictates that. So I want to congratulate you there. I also want to congratulate you on, being part of a great team, obviously. Andretti Autosport's about the best team you could be on in Indy Lights right now. They're doing really well considering, Pato last year and all. And and also congratulations on the sweeping of Texas, man. And I heard it's very sandy down there, so that's a lot of sweeping. So you must have had a big broom.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable weekend. To start, like you said, it's truly an honor to be in the position now with Andretti Autosport and Indy Lights. It was just a couple of years ago in USF 2000, looking at the Indy Lights Championship, and the cars, seemed so much bigger, and that the series seemed so far away back then. But it's a mixture of knowing the right people and getting the opportunities and taking full advantage of them, and just getting the chance to race this year in Indy Lights is an absolute honor, and it's in January before, in the preseason, trying to put everything together. We didn't really know where we're going to be, or if I was going to be racing in the first place. So, just very happy to be here and happy to have a good start to the season.
Well, I mean, let's talk a little bit. I mean, because we just got off of basically the whole silly season thing. Obviously, Arenas VK won the Pro Mazda Championship last year. So you're not in that, comfortable, Mazda red that you're used to. So, just how that come about? I mean, knowing the right people and everything. I mean, I'm sure your talent and your results on track pretty much, made the right people be aware of you first. I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to get noticed, especially at this level, you have to win races and do well every weekend. I know we had a rough year last year, especially the beginning. There were tracks where we were more than a second off pace at, which isn't. It's hard for me to put my finger on exactly what was causing the lack of pace, but I knew I still had it within myself, and ended the season last year with a couple podiums and a win and a third place in the championship. So, just tried to show everyone that I still had it, and had the opportunity to go test at the Chris Griffiths Memorial in November with Andretti Autosport, with that third place in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. That offers us a free test day in Indy Lights. So, took full advantage of that and set the second fastest time on that weekend. A couple tenths off the track record, which was pretty cool in my first couple of days in an Indy Lights car. So then yeah, after that it was just, like John Doonan always says, it's about the people and the process, and being involved with the right people and having the right mindset, and without Mazda scholarships, it's a lot harder to move forward, especially for someone like myself, not coming from a lot of funding. I've had to win scholarships and win championships to move forward. So luckily,
Yeah, I mean,
Bob Stelrecht and the Stelrecht Company out of what's
um,
that?
no, I'm sorry, you cut out just a little bit there, so I thought you paused there, but
Oh,
I think it cut out just at the very end there.
yeah, I was saying we're happy to be involved with or partnered with Index Invest and Bob Stelrecht and the Stelrecht Company out of Orange County.
Okay.
Index Invest is a Swedish-based company now based out of Jupiter, Florida. So working with our Swedish connection there, and yeah, just very thankful and happy to be involved with the people we are now.
That's awesome, man. And I mean, it was pretty obvious that I mean, there's two types of racing talents. There's racing talents that have been doing it their whole life, and they've just just gotten better and better as time goes on. Then there's natural talents, and you fall into that category, and it's very obvious. And obviously that's the best kind of talent you want. So, and we've been saying it since we've known you since USF that natural talent, you have a lot of it, and it just goes to show that you can jump into anything and push it to the limit and get good results every time, and bring it home safe. So that's a huge quality to have, and you're lucky.
Yeah.
But I mean, and obviously you can agree, in racing, natural talent goes so far, but luck also has a lot to do with it as well, right?
For sure, for sure. I mean, being in the right place at the right time and having the right equipment is massive. But I'd like to attribute some of my luck to the right preparation and the right mindset as well. So, you know, I've come from a long background of kart racing, and I made my switch to cars very late for the age that most kids are moving nowadays. So I attribute a lot of my success to my training grounds and karting, and the people that have been around me as well. Back to USF 2000 and Indy Pro 2000 with Kate Motorsports. Those guys, molded me into the driver I am today. Also through the Team USA scholarship as well.
Yeah, I mean, and you've always been the same level too. I mean, from talking to you during your USF days, and then your Indy Pro days. I'm still getting used to saying it that way.
Yeah.
But isn't it weird? Anyway,
Yeah.
it's so hard not to say Promazza. But at any rate, you've always stayed the same level. You've always been very humble, always been very just kind of very positive and humble, and I think that's the best traits to have, because you don't let too much get you too high or too low, because I think that takes the focus away. And you've always been very focused. That's one thing anybody can, if they have one thing to say about you, you're always super focused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, man. And I was telling you before we started recording that I can't believe that it was only a couple of years ago that Rob Howden and Missy and I and you were on here, and it was a week or so before St. Pete, and you really didn't know much what to expect or anything. And
Yeah.
and now a couple of years later, man, you're in an Andretti Autosport car, just sweeping.
I should go
sweeping
back and
COTA.
listen to that.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, and anybody can listen to it if they go to www.theindysportscarpodcast.com. Missy would kill me if I didn't plug that, because she spent a lot of time on it lately, and it's been a really good website. We got a lot of traffic to it lately. Do you have a web? I mean, I know you have a website. site where people can go get some Askew merch and everything, and get some really cool hats that we're still waiting for.
Yeah, yeah, right. That reminds me.
It's been an ongoing bit.
I need to order some new stuff for the people who visit oliveraskew.com. You can also follow me on Twitter, Oliver_Askew, and Instagram as well as Facebook. So yeah, thanks to all the fans who follow and who have supported me through the road to Indy, and hopefully in a couple of years, maybe IndyCar.
A couple of years? What are you talking about? It's the next year, right?
Yeah, I'm a humble guy.
I know, I forgot. I try, and you're like, no, we'll see,
Yeah.
we'll see. You never know, you never know. So, okay, so well, what was your most? So far, you have St. Pete under your belt, and you have COTA. I mean, COTA, man, you got to race a COTA. You lucky son of a duck. I mean, me personally, you guys and IndyCar and all in general should have been in COTA a long time ago. Not going to go into it right now. Gone into it enough before. But, dude, how was COTA? Come on now.
Yeah, I think we really, put our best foot forward right out the gate. A month before the event, we were testing there. IndyCar had their spring training there. Indy Lights was there as well, and we topped 2 out of the 3 sessions. And set the fastest lap time at that test, and I think we showed up back to the track for the real weekend with an even better car. So that made it a lot easier on myself to perform with the Andretti Autosport Lights package that we had there. It was really just untouchable, and my teammates can attest to that. They did a really good job as well. Both Ryan Norman and Robert Megennis. We left there with the team championship and a clean sweep on my end with the number 28 car. Qualified pole by over a little over a half second in Q1, which was crazy. I think by far one of the biggest margins that I've had pole by in the road to Indy, and also after that just qualified pole in Q2 and won both races. So yeah, super happy. Those weekends don't come by too often, and so I think we need to learn as much as we can from there, and hopefully keep that momentum up, and on to the month of May. Now we're going to a track that I like a lot, the Indy GP, and hopefully we can do well there.
Right on. So now you guys will be racing at Barber as well, right? In 2 weeks, right?
No, we traded COTA with we traded Barber with COTA.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I should know that. I should definitely know that. But Missy would.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I honestly, I've been working nights all week, and I had like zero time to prepare. To be honest with you, I'm going to be totally honest. But all right. But I mean, are you personally going to be at Barber for the race?
I won't be at Barber. I'm going to be in Indianapolis next week training, and then I'm going to fly from Indy to Long Beach for that race there. I'm going to go to the Road Racing Drivers Club dinner, and enjoy that race and meet as many people as I can. It's one of the best Grand Prix that we have in the States, so very happy to go there and check it out, and then I'll be back to Indy for training before the GP, and then we're also testing in Kentucky on the 18th. I guess it's a rookie oval test in Indy Lights, so we'll be getting ready for the Speedway then.
Cool. Well, we'll definitely be tracking, how you do, and we'll definitely be talking about it on the show when that happens. Definitely, and maybe
Cool.
we'll have you back on after that to find out, what your thoughts were, and definitely. So if there's one thing you could take away from racing at COTA, new track to pretty much everybody, what would it be?
I think that car that we brought there is I think it's pretty similar to what we're going to bring at the other permanent road courses. So I think it says a lot about the Andretti Autosport package on permanent, big permanent road courses. So excited to take that forward and hopefully build on that a little bit. You can always go a little bit quicker and squeeze a little bit more performance out of it. So I think the track, first impressions suited my driving style. Very, very abrasive. Has a mix of both high speed and low speed, medium speed corners, and has a big rhythm section from turn 2 to turn 8 with left right back to back, and it's really really enjoyable. I think it raced really well, and hopefully the organizers can see that, and IndyCar can see that, and we'll be back there next year.
Right on. And I think the biggest thing that came out of COTA was the whole turn 19 discussion. Where do you land on that?
Yeah, I think at least in Indy Lights, our rule was we did have track limits, and we couldn't put we had to keep 2 tires on the red and white curbs.
Okay.
But I mean, I rewatched the broadcast, and there were drivers that were using that runoff, and I'd say it's possible to gain a tenth, but that could mean a lot with our push to pass and being within a second and a half of the car in front. So it's hard to say. I mean, I didn't really like how the pit in was just after that for IndyCar, and I saw a replay when Rosenqvist had his accident with Hinch.
Yeah.
Just in front of that, I think it was Veach that was pitting. I forget who, but they had to cut across Pagenaud, all the way from the outside of the track where they were running off to make it to the pit lane. So I think that was a strange circumstance, but
sure.
Yeah, it seemed to race well. When you make that corner tighter, it's a lot harder to follow the car in front. So being able to go wide and kind of find a different line was better for that track. But it's hard to say. I mean, you'd have to ask one of the IndyCar drivers what they thought about that. I know it's even more bumpy when you go out there, so that probably wasn't very nice to the equipment. But I mean, for me, it didn't affect me at all. So.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny you say the whole bumpy thing. That's exactly what Pato said afterwards. He was just like, it was bumpy as I'm not going to repeat the rest, but yeah, it was very bumpy. But I mean, that crash, basically changed the whole complexion of that race. So, I think IndyCar might change that next year for you, right?
To be honest, I mean, we had this discussion in IndyCar, or sorry, in F1. About track limits, and they pave these, they build these purpose-built Formula One tracks with concrete everywhere, and as a racing driver, you want to use as much track as you can, especially in the high-speed corners.
Sure.
And I understand it's a lot easier to slow down and on pavement than grass, but if you put a sand trap a bit closer to the track, that's going to be your track limit, and there's not going to be any drivers complaining about that. It's just a lot closer to the edge of disaster. But that's my view on it. If you don't want people, if you want track limits and you don't want people abusing them, then put something there that drivers don't want to get close to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think the counter argument to that was the MotoGP guys, and I think that's why they didn't do it for that turn. But that's neither here nor there. I don't think. I mean, I think if the series tells you, you got to have at least 2 tires on the track, then that's the rule right there.
Yeah.
So, but I guess we'll see. Time will tell. But it was definitely an amazing weekend of racing with you guys and everybody there, and it was I thought it was an amazing weekend, and I really think it showed how the potential that COTA has for road to Indy and especially IndyCar as well. So
yeah, I agree.
So just to end up the little bit of time we have with you there, Ollie, looking forward to May. You said, and you don't like to look too much further ahead. There's no reason to. So
Yeah, I take it 1 week at a time.
I know. So
Same with flights. It's a bad habit. I need to start booking flights a little bit earlier.
I'm the same. Hey, we actually booked our hotel just yesterday, and that's weird because we normally book it on our way to the event, so that's different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could feel you there. So, is there anything? So basically, jumping into the Indy Lights car, from the the old Pro Mazda car when it was called Pro Mazda. What's the biggest advantage that you get out of the new the IL-15s?
Compared to the Indy Pro car?
Yes.
Well, my first impressions were the wheelbase of the car, coming from 2 years in the Tatis and USF 2000 and Indy Pro. My sight lines changed. The cockpit's completely different. So those were my first impressions. And, even though the compound of the tire is supposed to be very similar in Indy Lights, the contact patch and the tire itself, it holds much more volume, and it takes a lot longer for the tires to heat up. So on a cold day, especially with that turbo, it's very hard to control the car for the first couple laps. Everybody talks about their first experience in the Indy Lights car, and it's very easy to spin out when you're getting used to it, because there's a little bit of lag in the turbo, so you got to understand when the horsepower starts to kick in, and control the car that way. But I think to be quick in the car, I think it needs to be a little bit oversteery. The braking capability of the car is much higher than Indy Pro. Way more downforce, bigger brakes. They're still PFC brakes, but with that 2,000 pounds of downforce at the end of the straightaway at IMS, it's very, very easy to brake past the 400-meter board. So, and that's about where you're braking in Indy Pro. You're just going 20 miles an hour quicker. So that's quite a big change, and the high speed as well is you can really feel the weight of the steering wheel change. Going through fourth, fifth gear corners. There's just way more grip in the car with the diffuser and the big wings that we have. So I think overall it suits my driving style, and every time I get a couple laps in it, or some test days in the car, I seem to get better, and that's what the season's going to be all about. I think it's going to be a development race for us drivers. The top three, and DeMello's in third, but there's a lot of rookies, and we're all getting used to the car still. So it's a really good car to drive. I think with Andretti Autosport, they've made my learning curve a little bit easier. As a team and with my teammates, we're all quite quick, so it's easy to move forward on a setup standpoint, and the engineers work really well together too. So, in a good place, and hopefully we can take advantage of every opportunity we have this year.
Well, just want to say, congratulations on your sweep at COTA, man, and good luck at your next upcoming event, which is IMS, the road course there. And I'm sure you're going to be quick there as well. So, and we will see you there personally finally. So,
okay, cool.
And
thanks. Looking forward to seeing you guys there, and anybody who's watching who comes out, come say hi.
Definitely, he's very approachable. Very make sure you say hi to Ollie when you see him, and it's pretty hard to miss him. He's about 7'4", so
my resting face looks really mean, but I promise I'm a nice guy.
There you go. Oh yeah, I'm the same way. Just, oh hey, hi. So here you go.
Unless you take me out, I'm not very happy.
Yeah, no, that's not that one thing you can't do. Don't take Ollie out, because he holds grudges for years and years and years. No, I'm kidding. So no, but again, Ollie, congratulations, man, on landing the ride that you did, and you're making the best out of it, man. And we're really happy to see, the results that you're already pretty much I think you're leading the series already. So, but it's a little bit too early to start focusing on that. I know you're not. So, but one race at a time, and just good luck to you. And like I always say, be fast, but be safe, my brother.
Thank you. Thanks, Frank. Thanks for having me.
All right. And that's Oliver Askew, everybody, and we are very, very happy to have him on. So thank you, Ollie. Welcome back, ICP fans, to the Indy Sports Car Podcast. What's up, Christian?
Nothing much. Happy Thursday, everybody, from the racing capital of the world, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Right on. And Missy?
Hello, hello. And joining us this evening, we have driver of the number 27 car for Andretti Autosports, sponsored by Cybersecurity in the Indy Lights series, Robert Megennis. Welcome back, Robert.
Thanks, guys. Good to be on.
Robert, it's great to have you back on, man. And, as promised. Oh, yeah. Robert's on, baby.
It doesn't make sense without the video. The video didn't make enough waves for.
Yeah, well,
I need to get it back out there.
Oh, we definitely will then.
Well, I was.
Say no more. Say no more, Robert. Say no more.
Well, and of course. Wait a minute. Wait, where is it? I'm sorry. I'm doing this on the fly. Robert Megennis. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Robert Megennis, baby. So, can you spot a pig from a mile away there, Robert?
Yeah, for sure.
Right on, because you're a cowboy.
Know it.
That is such an inside joke. Nobody listening gets that. And I think we're going to keep it that way. But Robert, is that hysterical, or
That was amazing.
I mean, you'll never forget this moment.
Nope, never.
No, it was a Road America thing last year, and that's all. Just keep on listening, everybody, throughout the next season, and we'll go through it. Maybe one time when the news is a little bit, I don't know how it's going to actually happen that way, but when the news is light, one day maybe we'll go over why we played that song for Robert, but it fits. It really does. Just because of one reason. Anyway, okay, moving on. Robert, congratulations, man. You had an awesome weekend at COTA, dude.
Yes,
So
podium
congratulations,
both
man.
times.
Thank you. No, it was a great weekend. It was great to put some good results down, and St. Pete was great for first lights weekend, but it's nice to really show what we got out there.
Yeah, when I was watching the St. Pete race, you tried to make an amazing pass. You didn't. I mean, it wasn't a completed pass, but gosh darn, my respect for you went through the roof because you even attempted it. Because it's a sketchy outside move on turn one. We've seen it time again, but you almost made it, brother. You almost made it, and I give you mad props for that.
You got to send it. There's. It's so hard to pass in these lights cars, especially around somewhere like St. Pete. That every opportunity you get, you have to really go for it, and it's different to USF and Indy Pro 2000, where you can chuck the car at someone and make it stick and go a little sideways. It's like these are big race cars, and when you go for a pass, the car just pushes and it's big, and there's a lot more going on. The racing is a lot more intense and a lot more fun, but fewer opportunities to pass, and you really have to make the most of everyone.
Yeah, definitely, and then that's why I respected the heck out of you, because it's, like I said, everybody came out okay at the end, because a lot of times people don't. I mean, just off the top of my head, I can think of a few names that didn't, but you are not one of those names, so that's the important part. And but like I said, I met a lot of respect for you. First time in the car. When I think it was race 2, I believe it was. And but yeah, I mean, you had mad pace on race 2, man. It's a shame the result at the end, but that's neither here nor there. Everything before that, you were flying, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's, it was my first lights weekend. We're just kind of getting up to speed, getting everything figured out. First time on a street circuit in the car too. I mean, it's the car is so big. It has so much horsepower, so much downforce, so much tire. Everything took a little getting used to, but I feel like we're going now, and we're gonna have a good rest of the year.
Right on.
Now, did you have any testing in the Indy Lights car before St. Pete, or was that your first?
No, we had a good. What was it now? I think it was about 6 or 7 days of testing before the year started. So I had some time to, gel with the team, my engineer, my crew, my teammates, but no, nothing really prepares you for St. Pete besides St. Pete.
Right.
Yeah, St. Pete is it? Yeah, St. Pete is its own beast, isn't it?
Yeah, no, and I love it. I love the track. I love the racing. I love the environment, but it is a challenge for sure.
As they say, it separates the men from the boys, as they say. And
There you go.
Even though you're a cowboy, you're not one of the boys. You're one of the men.
Appreciated.
So how was COTA? I mean, I think it was race 2 with you and towards the end with David Malukas. You guys were battling pretty hard towards the end of that race. I was a little nervous at the end of that.
COTA was awesome. I mean, we showed lots of speed. Oliver and I were pretty much first and second in every qualifying session, right? Mm-hmm. Qualifying 1, I qualified 3rd because they took away my fastest lap for exceeding track limits.
And I didn't agree with that, by the way.
I mean, you know what? I went off track. I gained an advantage, and they took away my lap. They did it consistently, so those are the rules that were given and that we have to work with. So I had no problem with it. I started 3rd. Race 1 was a really fun battle with Sauri. We're pretty much back and forth twice a lap for probably from lap 3 to lap 13, which was really fun. And then I had a good battle the last 3 laps with VK. And then, race 2, we had a really good run. Got the lead on the start, held off Oliver for 6-7 laps, and then just kind of cruised around in second, a couple seconds off of Oliver, 5 seconds ahead of Toby. And then with the restart, I guess I burned my tires off a little bit too much. So I didn't have the grip to keep up with Oliver. Malukas really only had 1 attempt to pass me at the end. So I just had to defend a little bit. But no, it was good. It was good. It was a great weekend, and I'm super happy with it. I'm super happy. I feel like we have a ton of momentum going into Indy now. I know it's a little bit of a wait, but I feel really good. I'm just going to keep training, keep doing all the prep work that I do. And I'm super happy with how everything's going with the team, with the series, with the car, other drivers. It's great.
You should drop by, Racecraft 1 if you would like to do some training before Indy.
What was that? Sorry?
I said you should drop by Racecraft 1 if you want to do some Indy training. Just throwing it out there. You're welcome, Christian.
What's Racecraft?
Yeah.
Why the heck one?
Racecraft 1, it's part of PitFit training there, the sim racing.
Oh, well.
So the sim training?
I have my own sim at my house. I have a pro sim. They're developed by Adrian Quaife-Hobbs. He was the Manor Mauricio Formula 1 test driver. And he makes these really cool simulators. He does them for, like, Lando Norris and Jake Hughes and a bunch of people in Europe. So that's kind of my setup. I've never been to Racecraft 1. I think I've heard of it. But no, I'm happy with everything I got going right now.
I'll tell you what, bud, if you're ever in Indy, just go ahead and send me a message and we'll put something together. Ollie's worked with us a few times now, and he seems to enjoy his time, man. But definitely, anytime you're in the area, just let me know and we'll get you in.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christian, he works with Kelly there at Racecraft 1, so he works with a lot of drivers there. Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Sim training's good. It's so hard to be in the race car as much as you should be, and anything you can do to get even close to driving.
For sure.
Now, I'm a little bit curious about your sim that was made for you. Does it still is it just you and the track and like you're like your own entity, or do you use iRacing or?
So I have a few different programs on it. So we have R Factor 2, where Adrian went in, rewrote all the code, and then uploaded laser scanned versions of every track that I've driven.
Okay.
And then he developed a US 50,000 car, an Indy Lights car, and I also run the GP3, the Formula 2, and the Formula Renault 2 liter.
Oh, right on.
And it's super realistic. All the setup changes we make in the sim translates well to real life. And attached to that, I have Motec data, which I can go through and look at my brake traces, my throttle traces. The seat, I only have the butt kickers in the seat, but the steering wheel has a lot of force, and it feels very close to the real car. I have a real brake pedal. It's a super nice sim, a super nice setup, especially for in my own home.
Right on.
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like it.
I'm
and I also do run some iRacing on it just to get some wheel-to-wheel experience. The CPUs in R Factor aren't amazing, so just to get out there and race with real people. And sometimes I'll do fun lobbies, go out with like 6 or 7 other drivers from different series and road to Indy and stuff, and do some fun races.
Cool. Well, whenever you go on iRacing, let me know.
I will. We can do some races.
Right on. All right. So what would you say you learned the most at COTA?
I'd say COTA. I definitely learned a ton about tire management. We have long races in Indy, like 22 laps around a place like COTA. The Indy cars are doing stints that are 10, 15 laps. We really burn off those tires, and I didn't do a great job with tire management. My instinct is just to push as hard as I can every single lap, and I ended up with 0 tire left at the end of both races. I lost second place to Renus in race 1. I had to defend David a little bit in race 2. So I think that's really what I learned that I need to focus on going into Indy. And yeah, that's also something I can really practice on the sim and practice toning down my driving, saving some tires. And that was a big eye-opener for me.
All right on. So, looking ahead to Indy, I mean, a track you're familiar with, but in a car that you're new with. Obviously, tire management you're gonna be trying to do your best with there. But is there anything else that you're gonna need to pay extra attention to now that you're in the IL, the IL 15 now, other than the Titus, compared to what you didn't really have to worry about too much before?
So, I don't think there's a whole lot. We had the Chris Griffiths Memorial Tests in the end of September at Indy. So I already have an idea of what driving the Indy Lights car at Indy road course is going to be like. I think it's just going to be continuing with this progression that we have going right now. I feel like every time I get in the car, I learn something. I go quicker. I improve my driving. And it's just going to be continuing that and continuing to learn all these little lessons, right? Whether it's how I release off the brakes, how I turn into the corners, how I give feedback to my engineer, all that sort of stuff is what's going to keep coming.
Right on. I mean, and like, how excited are you to do the Freedom 100?
I am so excited. That's going to be so much fun. It's the Freedom 100. Like,
it's like literally like next to the Indy 500. It's one of the most, like, I don't know, for me personally, but it's one of the most like anticipated oval races to watch. It really is. It's always just right down to the wire every year.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's an exciting race, and I know I have a good car. I know Andretti has good cars around there, so I'm excited to go and wheel and go over 200 miles an hour for the first time too. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man. Well, I mean, again, Robert, we're so proud of you, dude. We really are, man. And just really happy for the results that you've been getting, and you really have earned them, deserved them, and I can't say much more about it, man. But we're just really happy and proud of you, brother. And hopefully the results keep coming, and by the end of the year, you're battling for that championship. But one race at a time, obviously, and always learning every race, and that's the important thing. And I think definitely going to be a contender by the end of the year, man. But let's not get ahead of ourselves or anything. But just wanted to say that, man. Just really happy and just really proud of you, brother.
Thank you so much, and it's been fun. I've seen you guys at the weekends for 4 years now, and it's
I was gonna say since you're USF 2000, we've been following you.
Yep.
It's been fun, moving up the ladder and having the same people be there and watching, and it's great to have your guys' support. And we're just taking it one lap at a time over here and enjoying every second of it.
Yeah, same here. And we're enjoying watching it, dude. And watching you guys mature and climb the ladder and everything. And there's one driver that should be there that's not, but unfortunately, not everybody can make it there. And hopefully, maybe he figures something out towards the end. I'm talking about Parker, obviously. I'm always talking about Parker, but but yeah, like you and Ollie and everything. It's just awesome to see you guys where you definitely should be. And it's really cool to see how Road to Indy. It really is the best, junior Formula Series to get you guys to where you guys need to be, and it not based on solely on how deep your pockets are. So
no, it's a great series, and there's tons of good drivers. It really does prepare you for IndyCar, and where else do you want to race besides IndyCar? I'm super happy with everything, and it's just been a blast.
That is a great quote right there, by the way. Love that quote that you just said.
Awesome.
So I know we only have a short amount of time with you. You gotta go make some calls to make sure that you can keep on racing. So because
I do love race cars.
Hell yeah. So, Christian, is there anything that I missed that you'd like to say before we let Robert go?
No, man, just definitely excited to see the progression and see where it goes from here. We're all pulling for you, and I'm sure you'll keep doing what you need to do, man. You got a good head on you, so please do keep that, and hopefully we can see you at Racecraft 1 at some point. One of these days we'll get Ollie to come through, and we'll just have a big battle, man. It'll be cool.
Good party. No, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys all at Indy.
Yes, you will.
Yes, we will see you at Indy. Thanks for coming on again, Robert.
Thank you so much. Thanks for everything, guys.
Good luck, buddy.
Thanks.
Take care of yourself.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
So,
I'll see you guys.
All right, cowboy.
Bye.
Take care, buddy. And that is Robert Megennis, everybody.
Robert Megennis. Yay. Love Robert.
Good old Bobby. Bobby McGee. Bobby McGee. There he is. Yep. New York native.
yeah.
Yeah, love Robert.
No.
So far we've had Ollie on and we've had Robert, both Andretti Autosport drivers. And I just want to take a moment to thank Megan Barnhart, the PR rep for the Indy Lights racers for Andretti Autosport. She was so kind to set everything up, and everything went very smoothly. And just want to take time out and say thank you, Megan. So there you go. Thank you, Megan Barnhart. Definitely looking forward to meeting her at Indy.
There you go.
Yep. And Christian, is that a great video? Or
The video's amazing. I don't understand why it's not viral.
It will be.
I'm gonna hold on to it. That way, when Robert wins his first IndyCar race, I can sell it to TMZ.
That's why I told him. I said, "This is blackmail." This is
Oh yeah,
blackmail material.
definitely.
No, I'll post the video on Twitter and everything, so you guys know what we're talking about, so you guys get the laugh too. So, Missy, and where can they find our Twitter at?
You can find that through our website at www.theindysportscarpodcast.com.
Right on. Oh, and we forgot to ask Robert for his social media stuff, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. But Christian, what'd you think? What'd you think about COTA, man?
His
I've
Twitter,
got
just throwing out
mixed,
there real fast. His
mixed
Twitter's
feelings.
at Robert Megennis,
You
and
wanna-
his website
spell it real quick?
is
Megennis is
www.rkmracing.com. Megennis, I'm sorry, it's spelled Megennis.
right on. So we'll definitely tag that up on our Twitter as well. So just head over to the Twitter ISCP podcast, and yeah, everything will be there. So you guys will be able to catch up with everything that just went on. So head over there and have a laugh with us as well. So there you go.
I find it interesting that he said Indy Lights had track limits, but Indycar didn't.
Didn't, right.
I guess I didn't notice Turn 19 being so wild in Indy Lights compared to IndyCar, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, there was.
I mean, because Turn 19, they got to do something about that next year because that caused the wreck, to be honest with you. And that's where the wreck happened with Felix. And it was kind of a free-for-all, really. And they kind of need to tighten that up, I think. But why they didn't follow what Indy Lights was doing already, I don't know. However, I guess we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, I do wonder what the reason for that was.
Yeah, I mean, even Formula One has track limits there. They're not. I mean, I know why it's not gravel. It's because of MotoGP. But that's it. That's the only reason why it's all concrete there. And I mean, I guess it almost looked like everybody was doing it, so IndyCar was like, what are we going to do? Like penalize the entire field? So I don't know. Were they going that wide in qualifying? I
don't think in qualifying they weren't. No. I mean, some were going off the track a little bit, but their times weren't. It affected their time by I don't know, 2/10, 3/10,
Right.
depending how far wide they went.
Who got the pole again?
Be William Power.
Will Power. Who once again was a win was taken away by ill-fated yellow. I just cannot. I've lost count on how many times he's lost a race because of that. I swear.
Yeah. It's
almost like Tim Sims. Was
but although
his
I
engineer
kind of
again.
feel, because I feel like he was going to be out of the race anyway whenever he stopped for his second pit stop with his whole, was it clutch breaking, something breaking on the car.
Well, I mean,
so I kind of feel like it wouldn't have mattered about the yellow anyway, because
So
that
Rossi
would have
would've
happened. Yeah, so Rossi pretty much would have won that race.
So basically, Rossi lost the race because Will's clutch would have went in the pit stop. Rossi would have came out if there was no yellow, and Rossi would have won that race. Not taking
But I just
anything.
want to throw out, before we get into the IndyCar race, just the
Sure.
final results for the Indy Lights, race 1 and race 2.
Go for it.
So, race 1 was Oliver Askew, yay, Ollie, and Ryan SVK and Robert Megennis was your podium for race 1.
We just had both of them on the show, except
We did.
except for
Ryan.
Ryan's.
Which we need to get him on the show. We've interviewed him, but he hasn't been on the show officially before.
I've watched races with his whole entire family before. We still haven't had him on the show.
So that was race 1, and then race 2 was again Oliver Askew. He swept the weekend here at COTA. He had a great weekend. And then you had Robert Megennis took second, and then David Malukas was your third place finisher for race 2 here at COTA.
We had 2 out of 3 of them on the show, and we had the other guy. Who was the other guy?
David Malukas.
We had him on the show too before.
Yes, David has been on the show.
ISCP juice running deep in the legs this year, guys.
That whole podium right there has been on the show.
ICP juice just pouring off that podium. Thank you, Eric Villagaris, for coining that. Love it.
So yeah, there was some great racing this weekend with Indy Lights. It was
great racing all around.
Yeah.
COTA did not disappoint. Not in a long shot. But all right. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. I mean, I just wanted to get the results out there for the Indy Lights race, so that was
Okay.
it with that. I mean, anything else we want to add to this about the Indy Lights, and or we can move on.
Christian.
I had mixed feelings.
Go ahead. Don't hold back.
About this track.
Ooh. Juicy.
And yeah, I don't know. Just the racing wasn't bad or anything. I'm not saying it didn't provide an entertaining race. Just something. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it. Just something's missing for me about this track. So I don't know what it is. Yes, but no, but I don't know what it is just yet. I'm sure I'll have to figure it out. But it wasn't a bad race by any means. Plenty of action. So mixed feelings.
It was plenty of yeah. I mean, it was action packed. Yeah. There was a few lulls here and there when there wasn't much going on and cars started to spread out a little bit. But I mean, 20 turns, it's bound to happen, I suppose.
This is huge, yeah.
It is a huge track.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like a super speedway of road course, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
In that it's just so long. Yeah.
It's like Road America almost.
So yeah.
It's kind of like.
But
yeah, I mean, is it just as long as is it just as long as Road America? Right?
No. Road America, I think, is a little over 4 miles, and COTA is like 3.4 miles, maybe.
Okay,
right?
So yes, it's just about as long as.
No, it's a mile.
It's 0.6.
All right, yeah, 0.6. I mean, it's close.
So I am validated in my statement. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
So you had mixed feelings. So you said the racing was good, but
no, and that's the thing. Whatever it is that it was missing for me, I'm not able to quite put my finger on just yet. I'll have to look more into it, but just something about it wasn't grabbing me, and maybe that's myself. Maybe I set myself up for higher expectations with it just being the first time there. I was like, all right, first time, new track, really gonna, and then and maybe that's my own fault. Like maybe I psyched myself up too much.
I don't think you were alone in that, Christian. Psyching yourself up for this track. So I don't think you were alone in that psyching yourself up for this track. Okay. I think a lot of people psych themselves up for this track.
Yeah. And I was just like, and then it didn't. It was just something missing about it. And I don't know, but like I said, it did have its moments. It was interesting watching a couple of people get turned around. I think that's part of what I didn't appreciate about it. I think it was who was that went off? It was Beach. Beach, was it? I think Beach ended up going off.
Beach did.
And it was just like because the track is so wide and so big, it's pretty easy to not be on the racing line, so no reason for a caution. But it sucks if you're the guy who went off because there's no yellow and everybody's just taking off now. So I think that was one of those things because it's just so damn big that it's hard for those yellows to come out right at that track. And I think we ran it on iRacing a couple of times, and same thing. If you spin out, there was just no yellow. It just keeps going, and you're kind of screwed. So I think that's probably one of the things that I didn't really appreciate about it. But it may have just, like I said, been myself over-psyching myself up for a new venue.
Fair enough. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I mean, I was like the second I heard about this track, and I don't know. I mean,
I don't think I was a fan of the no track limits.
I did hear a lot of people complain about that. I guess it made the racing look
it was
sloppy to
kind of
them.
cool, that they had no track limits in it, but then it was just like you were seeing people drive off wide and then all of a sudden coming right back in, cutting people in. I was like, those were cautions waiting to happen.
And it did. It sure did.
Well, that caution had nothing to do with anything like that. I was just Hinch and Felix Rosenquist coming together and Felix getting the raw end of that deal, but it was considered a racing incident. I don't believe anybody was penalized for that.
Oh, I'll tell you what though. I was talking to Marty, and there's a guy that does a lot of he's like a statistician or something, and he was going on about all the stats of each driver and the stats of the track and everything else, and it's pretty amazing. Who had the most passes, who had the least passes, this and that. And it was pretty interesting, the numbers he was telling me about. I was almost telling Marty, like, you should come on and be like Marty Stats, and we'll have like a bit like Marty Stats comes on and tells us about the stats from Marty.
I think the best stat that I took away from this was...
self-explanatory.
I know.
I think the best stat I took away from this was that, and because everybody wants to compare to F1, which I don't understand why, but in comparison to F1, the Indycar race had 187, 89, 187. I don't remember which one, but it was 180 something passes in this race. Now last year, the Formula One race had 67 passes. So that was like double, the amount of passing. So that to me made it more exciting than, F1, because I mean, I love passing. Watching passing is, great. I mean, granted, it wasn't really for the lead, which, you can't always have great passing for the lead all the time with every track, but there was a lot of passing going on, and if you missed if you turned away and for a second, you would have missed like 5 passes. But yeah, I don't know. The track limit thing was just, I don't know. I didn't really. I thought there should have been track limits on that track.
I agree.
I would like to see that change. I mean, I guess a lot of drivers probably liked it. No track limits. I don't know, but. And I just felt it would have been, maybe, I don't know about better racing, but I mean.
It was definitely exciting though. It was a lot of racing all over the track from P1 all the way down to to the back markers. It was a lot of racing, a lot of passing, a lot of I don't know. How did you feel about the broadcast? How did you feel about how did you feel that NBC, covered the broadcast? You think they did a good job?
I mean, compared to St. Pete, yeah, I think they did a much better job than compared to St. Pete.
Well, we didn't lose 30 laps. That's good. It's always
fair.
So I guess they set the bar low to get better. I don't know.
That's fair.
Even though, some news just came out about NBC and their broadcasting of the 500. That's interesting.
What's that?
They're gonna have a ex driver in the booth with them.
Oh yes, we spoke about this last week. I remember.
Did we? Okay.
Yes, because you didn't want to speak about it.
That's right. Well, it doesn't matter because we'll be there. So yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so I guess Misty, do you want to go over the voting
Oh yeah. So what did the fans think of the IndyCar race this year? So we put a poll. We did one of our polls. So again, if you want to participate in our polls, we started doing them. It was, what grade would you give the IndyCar Classic at COTA? So 54% went with a B+. 38% said A+. You had your 7% said C, and that 1% that said F. I don't know where that 1%. Yeah, I know. A little surprised at the F. I don't know what race they were watching. Probably
Harsh.
They might have been watching
Harsh.
XF1 race or something. But you know,
Probably NASCAR fan.
Can't please you people for nothing. Wow.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Right.
There's always one.
Right.
There's always got to be one. So I would agree with the B+.
Yeah, definitely B+.
I agree with it. Maybe edging towards an A-, but yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I'd say B++. Christian?
B++. I'd give it a B.
Right on. So you're right there.
I'd give it a B. Yeah.
Right on.
But we'll see. I don't. I'm hoping that IndyCar is obviously taking the opinions of others and figuring out ways to tweak it so that next year's race is better. Should it still be on the schedule? That's what everybody was basically complaining about, was the no track limits, where they were just saying that it made the racing look sloppy. But you know what? I didn't see it until somebody said it looked sloppy, and then looking back at it, I was like, I could see.
Can't defend it.
I could see where you're like, it's sloppy. I can kind of see it.
I'll agree. Turn 19 was sloppy. The rest of it was good, though. I mean, you know, one turn out of 20 looked sloppy is all. However, I mean, the rest of the track looked really good. And I mean, it was just something really. I mean, I personally, I loved seeing, you know, Indy cars on COTA. I'm sorry, it just looked great. You know, turn 1 was amazing at the beginning of the race. It was just really good, really good stuff.
So yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was a good race, but yeah, I had an issue with the track limits. I wish there would have been track limits. I didn't think I would say it, because at first I was like, oh, there's no track limits. This is great. But then after watching the racing, and I was like, you know what? There should be track limits. I can see why there's track limits now.
You take it back. You're like, yeah.
And I guess it may be because a lot of the tracks that they go to don't have runoff space like they do. But yeah, I would have liked to seen track limits on this. But I mean, overall, it was good racing. But yeah, I'd like to see track limits for next year. So hopefully they'll do. I mean, I think a lot of the drivers like the no track limits, but I think it would made for better racing if there was track limits. Because maybe some people could have took advantage of like going on the outside, you know, and going, you know, off the track and then coming back on right in front of somebody, you know, like.
Plus the you know, the wreck that you know, basically changed the outcome of the race probably would have never happened.
Which had nothing to do with track limits, Frank.
Okay. It was turn 19.
It did not. They weren't off the side over there. It happened. Never mind.
What turn was it?
Why bother?
What turn did the wreck happen at? Wasn't it turn 19?
No, it was turn 20.
Tomato. 19
Whatever.
into 20.
Whatever. It was turn 20.
A left and then a left onto the straightaway. Right? Right in front of the pit entrance.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are you talking about? I'm off base here. When you say track limits, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about somebody passing on the outside.
Off track, right?
Yes, which they were not.
Okay, fine.
If it happened in front of pit lane or pit entry, how is that freaking off the track on the outside?
Because they were going way off the track out of 19 coming down to 20. That was the whole point. No? Yes?
No, they were not.
Okay, I must have watched something else then.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the results there, Miss?
Yes. So, winning this race, congratulations to Colton Herta for his first ever IndyCar win and becoming the youngest IndyCar winner in history, breaking Graham Rahal's record of 19 years and something. So, Colton Herta was 18 years, 11 months, and 24 days, was it? Something like that? Yes. So congratulations to Colton. Then you had Joseph Newgarden and Ryan Hunter-Ray for your podium, an All-American podium. Yeah! Followed by Graham Rahal, Sebastian Bourdais, Marco Andretti, Takuma Sato, Patricio O'Ward. Congratulations to Pato on his 8th place in his 2019 IndyCar debut for this season.
Did a great job, I thought.
Followed by Alexander Rossi and Jack Harvey, finishing round out your top 10. Then you had Spencer Piggott, Tony Kanaan, Scott Dixon, Ed Jones, Marcus Erickson, James Hinchcliffe, Matthias Lace, Kyle Kaiser, Simon Pagino, Santino Ferrucci, Max Chilton, Zach Veach, Felix Rosenquist, and Will Power.
I know.
Tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it was a tough one to swallow. Especially something, he was running such a great race and then a stupid mechanical issue just... if he had no luck, he'd have just...
If he didn't have bad luck, he'd have done
no luck at all, yeah.
Yeah, Ericsson, there's a story on motorsport.com about Ericsson. He has something interesting to say. Indy switch exposed DRS racing flaws. Ericsson's really loving IndyCar. Didn't exactly... I mean, he did pretty well, I think, at COTA. Didn't do exactly as much as I thought he might have, but then again, if you look at the numbers after the fact, he did actually really well. He had a lot of passes. He almost had the most passes in this race. He just didn't qualify very well. But yeah, he's loving how IndyCar's set up, and he said it's exposing how the DRS in F1 is extremely flawed. And
how so?
Well, how he put it, there's only what, like 2 or 3 zones mostly at every track for the DRS to be used in F1, right? So basically, this it comes down to in F1, drivers won't really push hard until the DRS zones, and then when they use it, it doesn't really make for any good passing or anything. It just kind of...
Now, isn't it similar that you can only use it when you're like a second and a half?
1 second.
1 second behind?
You can only be you can only use it when you're 1 second behind the...
And that's the same with the push to passes, though, right, for IndyCar?
No, you can use push to pass whenever you want.
Oh, wait, okay, yeah, never mind.
And that's the biggest difference, is you can use push to pass in IndyCar whenever you want. Obviously, you have a limit. But
I was thinking about somebody being first, that they don't really need to use theirs because they're in first. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Hamilton knew what DRS is. So, but that's because he's always in front. Excuse me.
Not last race he wasn't. But he
No.
wasn't close enough to use a DRS.
No, he wasn't. But my point being is, yeah. Just check out the story. We'll tweet it out on our Twitter. It's from motorsport.com, written by Valentin. I can't say that last name at all. Kaorzinski.
Oh, yeah, this is good. Make fun of me with names.
Whoa, look at that name.
Yeah, I know. I'm not.
Missy, go ahead.
No, that's all
Take
right.
a stab.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Cruzy.
Anyway.
Some of those, a bunch of those letters are silent.
Oh, okay. So
I have no idea.
you don't know.
I'm making some of them silent.
Just making that up. Mm-hmm.
So it was written by Valentine. It was put out yesterday. Check it out.
Hell of a guy.
It's called It's a Woman. And yeah, or I think it is.
No, it's not.
It's a man.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Well, I mean. Oh yeah, it is a dude. Okay, sorry, Valentine. Yeah, I mean, just a little thumbnail picture, black and white, looks somewhat. I'm going to stop now. Stop
Good idea.
talking now.
Moving on.
Anyways, so,
And they're posted.
there you go. At ISCP Podcast on Twitter. www.theindysportscarpodcast.com. There you go. And, all right, so, and the next race coming up will be Barber in 2 weeks. And, however, F1's got a race coming up this weekend at Bahrain. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that next week.
Yeah.
That's a night race, isn't it?
I believe. Mm-hmm.
Bahrain's a night race.
Oh, Bahrain.
In
Sorry.
the middle of the desert, right? I believe.
It is in the middle of the desert. Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of
Most of the
sand. There's a lot of
races in the
sand
middle
there.
of the desert.
A lot of sand in the desert, I've heard. I've never been to Bahrain, so I got to take the word for it. Christian, you ever been to Bahrain?
I've never been to Bahrain. It's on my list, though. It's on my list of places to visit.
Why?
Does Israel count?
Israel?
I've been to Israel.
Israel does not count.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's Bahrain. No.
It's not even close to Bahrain. And that could be not true. I don't know where Bahrain it really is. Where is Bahrain? I know it's in the desert, but there's a lot of desert out there.
Let's see.
No, it's definitely on my list of places to go. A lot of money in Bahrain.
Bahrain is
So
like
it's an oil-based country, I'm guessing.
Bahrain is like a little island in the Persian Gulf
Oh boy.
next to Saudi Arabia and Qatar.
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 Yeah, Qatar.
Oh, yeah.
You know Qatar is going to have that soccer thing, right?
I've been to Qatar, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to manufacture fake clouds and fill them with helium and float them above the stadium for shade.
You know what? I've been thinking about doing that for years.
Yeah, me too. I'll have my own cloud, follows me around.
Why not?
I mean, there's a black cloud that follows me around. Why not a white one? Tired of the black cloud. It's always raining on me.
But no, the Bahrain Grand Prix is this weekend. It's almost like, from the pictures, it's almost like another Dubai, really. It's like a lower scale Dubai, but lots of money floating around.
It is a very small island. I didn't know it was an island.
And hopefully Lewis Hamilton can get back on and his cornrows. Lewis, you got to stop. I saw the picture that was posted earlier today. You just got to stop, man. Nobody in their mid-30s should have cornrows. You just got to stop, Lewis. But
doesn't that take forever?
What?
Doesn't that take forever? Cornrows?
It does take a while to.
Maybe that's why, because he's like, I sat in a chair for 15 hours. No. While I do appreciate that he definitely is outside of the mold of what you think of when you think of stereotypical F1 driver, the cornrows are a bit too far. It's a bit too. You're going a bit too far now. Next week, his grill is going to be all gold.
No, honestly, if you saw Lewis Hamilton in the street, you would assume American and rapper is what I get, right? When I look at Lewis Hamilton, which is so far off British.
Screw a rap
Race car driver.
Like,
wait, yeah, it's. But when you look at him, it's American rapper is the vibe he's given off.
He's definitely like Vanilla Ice out there.
I don't. Word to your mother.
What it's like having a Roni. Yep.
In my 5.0 Mustang. That's right. But hopefully, outside of the cornrow situation, he can bounce back and get back to winning. You know, it's a good race for him. Looking forward to seeing if Williams makes any improvements.
Keep on waiting for that one.
Yeah, I just watched a nice little documentary piece they did on just the challenges and the struggles. But that's my feel good story of the year for F1, just with Kubica. You know, that's my feel good story for this year. So I'm really rooting for them this year to just keep making slow and steady improvements.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to finish last in the last race, and they didn't. So that's.
Hey, I mean, it's a good. That's good.
You know,
didn't finish last.
You know, well, it's one of those things where when you've got a last place car, if you do anything better than last, it's a personal victory. It's a little bit of a.
That's true.
Of a little bit, you know. So hopefully they can keep it moving.
Well, I mean, the only reason he wasn't last is because everybody else behind him DNF'd.
I was going to say that.
Hey,
I was like, do I want to be the jerk? Do I want to be the jerk?
All right.
I mean, he was able to beat Grosjean, Ricardo. I mean, he beat Ricardo. Even that's good stuff. I mean, even by
but that's that car. We know that's the car. Yeah.
I mean, Grosjean, he got taken out by grass. So I mean, yeah. I still don't understand how you got taken out by grass. $400 million cars.
Grass is violent, you know. that's some violent grass.
F1 cars are not made to race on grass. I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not made to race on anything off the track.
Nothing at all. Yeah.
Can't put a tire off. Boom, done. piece of sand, gone.
But yeah, so no.
There was a cap from a Mountain Dew bottle out there. Got me.
Got me. That's right.
Did you race over it? No, near it. What? Okay. Okay. Predictions. Who's going to win
Bahrain?
Christian.
Hamilton.
Of course.
Yeah.
Mizzy?
Hamilton followed by Bottas.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I think Hamilton's going to be like, oh, Bottas, I can't allow this. Got to come back.
I'm going to say Vettel's going to take this.
Oh,
what?
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Well,
I don't believe it.
We shall see. I don't believe it. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, I'm just saying it. I don't believe it.
I want to see Max Verstappen win.
That guy.
I'm gonna like Max Verstappen this year.
Why?
Really?
Yeah.
Really, Missy?
Why not?
Well, I mean, he does so much for the Navy. You know?
Missy,
because he's not Mercedes. That's why. Because I cannot like a Mercedes. I just can't. Like it's just. Do they even have like a fantasy F1? That'd be like the worst thing ever. It'd be too easy.
That's why they don't do it.
Too easy.
That's exactly why. Yeah.
See, because in Indycar anybody can win. F1, not so much.
Not so much. Yeah. Yeah. But so yeah, that's what I think for that one. Speaking of the F1 and the whole Formula car world, I'm sure you guys have seen the final list is out for the W Series.
Yes, I did see the final list is out, and I wanted to say
Da-da-da.
congratulations to the three names that I did recognize, of course, I didn't recognize all of them, but there was Jamie Chadwick made it. Sabree Cook, congratulations, Sabree. We know her from USF 2000 that she raced some races last year. Did she race the whole season? No, she raced the whole season last year.
Yes.
And Shay Holbrook. So big congratulations to those ladies and all the rest of the ladies that did make the final 18.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a big deal. This is actually happening. I don't know why, but for some reason there was like a disconnect for me, and for some reason I just didn't think it was actually going to get to this point. But this is happening. This is real. And so let's see what kind of product we've got. Do we have any word on when that schedule starts, or TV coverage? How can we watch? How can I watch?
Yes,
the newly formed W Series.
That's what I want to know.
I think the first race, if I'm not mistaken, happens in May. And where that would be, yeah, I don't know. I have to look that up for you.
Well, they're not getting me to at least June, clearly. May is for IndyCar and IndyCar only. Right, so
well, yes, May. Yes, if
races
races start in May, that's not happening. So let me just see. Yes, May 3rd and 4th is their first race, and it is at Hockenheim.
Okay, all right. Is there a TV package here available in the States where we can catch that, or
sure, be
or
on
do we just
YouTube
have to read about it afterward? Huh?
Maybe YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll post the race on YouTube. I'm sure, but yeah, I guess we could do that. Yeah. But if you wanted to watch it live, is there a way to? No.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
squeeze through there. I don't really see anything. Glancing through their website real fast. I just see that they have 6 races. Hockenheim, Zolder.
That's a short season. That's a really short season.
Yeah, Zolder, I'm not sure.
You got to make it count then. Okay.
Belgium. Zolder's in Belgium. That's May 17th and 18th. Next race is June.
Well, damn, I'm about to miss a third of the season.
7th, yeah.
I'm messing around with Indy,
Then
yeah.
June 7th and 8th is Misano in Italy. And we have in another track in Germany, July 5th and 6th. Norrisring. Then you have July 19th and 20th is Assen in the Netherlands. And they wrap up their final race August 10th, 11th at Brands Hatch in the United Kingdom.
You know, it's starting to make sense now why the series is as affordable as it is. I didn't realize the schedule was as limited.
I thought there was going to be more races, actually.
What is that,
myself.
6?
Yeah, that's 6 races.
That makes sense as to why it's as affordable as it is.
Plus the tracks they're going to be at. I haven't heard of most of them.
Yeah, so
Brands Hatch, obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, no throwaway races then. So all 6 of those count. You got to get your points. Better get your points while you can. So, but I'm excited to give it a chance and to see what kind of product.
Oh yeah, I'm going to give it a chance. Yeah.
And the best part about it is it's going to get, it's going to get these women that normally wouldn't have a chance to get their name out there and show people what they can do behind the wheel. It's going to be able to give teams out there something to look at and base their opinion off of, and hopefully it spawns more women into more racing series.
Yeah.
And if that's what happens, then I say more power to the W series. So in that respect, it's a good thing. How it came together and who who did it all is questionable, but so be it. It's there. It's here. It's now. It's so. Take advantage of it while you can and make the best out of it, I say.
Yeah, completely agree. Still would have been nice to have Senora Joda
Stop it.
In the series. No, because we obviously we all have our opinion of her as a driver, but there's no the last thing we saw her in, obviously she wasn't competitive, but we don't know if there's been any improvement, and that's why I think this series would have been a good opportunity to see where she's at now. And
she stepped on the track and seen the competition. She realized she ain't there and left.
I'm out, y'all. right now.
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to hear that she's going to be in Playboy or something. That'd be cool.
That's what Frank's waiting.
So here you go. Here's the list. The 18 women, like I said: Jamie Chadwick, Sabree Cook, Marta Garcia, Megan Gilks, Esme Hawkey, Jessica Hawkins, Shay Holbrook, Emma, I'm going to screw this one up, Kimalanian, Mika Koyama, Sarah Moore, Tasman Pepper, Vicky Piria, I think I said that wrong, Alice Powell, Gazia Brest, Naomi Skiff, Betsky Visser, Fabian Woolwend, Caitlin Wood. Those are the 18 finalists, and then there's 4 reserve drivers. That's Sarah Bovey, Vivian Kesty, I said that wrong, Stephanie Knox, and Francesca Lenosi are the reserve drivers.
Okay.
So congratulations to all those ladies, and big congrats to Sabree Cook.
Yep, we're pulling for you, Sabree.
All right.
We're cooking up some support over here for you.
Horrible, just horrible.
Before we go out on that note,
Frank Linker live at the Tropicana.
Thank you. I'll be here all night. Try your waitress and and tip the veal.
Madness.
Get it? You get it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You get it? You tip the veal.
Yeah, got it.
Waitress. Okay. No, but just want to thank Oliver Askew and Robert Megennis for coming on the show today and talking about their rise to the big leagues. And long listeners of the show have heard their progressions over the years, and I'm sure they're just as proud of them as we are. We're really happy for them. So again, thank you to Megan Barnhart for making all that happen, and be on the lookout for the Indy GP, which is their next race. Oliver Askew and Robert Megennis, and definitely check them out and show them some love. So thank you guys for coming on. And that's all I wanted to say before Missy cut me off and said on that note.
And on that note...
Wait, hold on. And also, you can get a great piece of literature from... Christian?
Well, if you are referring to My Life and Story, The Outside Groove,
the only great piece
forwarded
of
by the
literature
legendary... That's the one. Forwarded by the legendary Willie T. Ribbs. It can be found on the IndySportsCarPodcast.com, Walmart.com, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million, Kovo, and...
other fine retailers.
That's right.
And on that note, you know that I know that Frank, you don't know anything. Christian, sometimes. But of course... Oliver and Robert, they all know Indycar is back, and we love it. Yo.
Yo?
You know?
Missy Minaj in the house. Missy Minaj is back, y'all.